let's get things going with a little yay or nay right out of the gate. These guys will tell me whether some potential trade targets make sense in New York. Emmanuel, we'll start with you. Yay or nay? Ryan McMahon makes sense as a Yankee trade target.
You know, there's a lot to like about Ryan McMahon from a Yankee standpoint. You got a left-hand bat who plays third base, and that's obviously been an area of weakness so far for the Yankees. I'm going to go nay, though, because if we think about the profile of the guy Yankee fans have been clamoring for this lineup, yeah, you want another lefty bat. Yeah, you want to deepen it, space it out. But this guy strikes out a lot, so you might not be getting exactly what you want in this order. Got a guy who struck out 115 times already in 95 games this year. So while it may sound good, it may look good, kind of on paper, I don't think he's nearly the guy Yankee fans are looking for. I go nay.
I understand that. Strikeouts and the Coors Field factor. You always got to take that into account. Okay, Zach, Garrett Crochet as a Yankee trade target. Yay or nay?
Anybody should want Garrett Crochet for now and the future. He's great impact starting pitcher, strikes everybody out. But I'm going to say nay for the Yankees only because I don't think they have enough to even get him. So they'd have to trade their entire farm system just to even get close to it. And I don't think their farm system's deep enough.
Okay, Anthony. Now, Mason Miller. I think any team in baseball is going to want this guy. We're talking about a hefty price. Does he make sense as a Yankee or Met trade target? Yay or nay?
100% yay for me, JJ. Look, anybody should want this guy, as you said. Bat missing, bullpen arm, high octane. I mean, you look at his baseball savant page, it says 100 percentile, 100 percentile. It's like my high school transcript back in the day.
Look at you.
Yeah, I can't keep a straight face for very long with that. But yeah, he really would be. The price will be huge because I think he's a free agent in 2030. So the price will be enormous. And you think for a relief pitcher, but you know he may go back to the starting rotation too at some point in his career. I love the guy.
That's exactly the reason why I'm cautious on Mason Miller. You have all this team control. The Yankees are going to have to give an arm and a leg just for a guy who pitches one inning. And I'm not sold that down the road he's throwing 103, 104 without some serious risk of injury. So it's electrifying. You love the stuff. There's a ton to like about Mason Miller, don't get me wrong. But for that team control, you're looking at giving up a Spencer Jones for a reliever with all that team control.
Hi, Spencer.
He's probably out by 20.
Anthony never hesitates when it comes to trading prospects on this show. You know this. Anthony take those prospects to the right down the road without hesitation. That said, though, with relievers, with how volatile they are, that always leads me to some concern because are you going to get the same version of Mason Miller next year and beyond? That's a tough question. Okay, Zach. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as a Yankee trade target.
Yeah, I'd say nay again because there's not a whole lot of control. You get the rest of this year and then one more year, I believe. And I just don't think that's where they should be focusing their energy. They don't have enough to make a lot of trades of impact. He's an impact player, great player, but I just think that's not where they should be using their resources.
Anthony, this is a guy who's near and dear to my heart. Itzhak Paredes, Yankee trade target, yay or nay?
You know, I on the surface, I like the idea, but for one of the reasons that we've been talking about here, there's a lot of control left with him as well. So I think the price tag would be too high. You know, hopefully the Yankees have something in mind beyond this season in terms of their infield corner situation and will take steps toward it. So I'm not sure that giving up the farm for this guy is the right move, even though, look, he hit 30-plus homers last year, drove in 98 runs. He's got 15 bombs this year, too. Every time I look at that Yankee lineup, once you get past Judge, once you get past Soto, it's looking a little thin. So I'm tempted there, but the give-up would be so much.
Tremendous player, but a little bit of a fear factor when you're dealing with the Tampa Bay Rays. Wouldn't want to deal with that front office. On that note, let's hear a decent proposal, shall we? As we asked our resident GM, what's a trade the Yankees could make with the team that's selling? Okay, Zach.
Yeah, I think realistically, if they want to bring in potentially an impact player, Jazz Chisholm is the guy that they could go for. He has multiple years of control. They'd have to give up a lot, and I think this is when you're getting into the Spencer Jones part of your farm system, plus another couple of guys who are pretty good in Will Warren and Yorbit Rivas. So I think that's the kind of thing that they could do. I'm maybe a little lower on Spencer Jones than maybe the Yankees are. I don't know. But I think, you know, you have to give up something. You get Tanner Scott in that deal as well that I'm proposing. So you're helping in two different areas. But I really think Chisholm is the kind of guy who still has upside. He's young enough to be better than he has been, bring energy to this team, and then you also get a lefty in the bullpen that can help you out.
I think it's an interesting concept. If I could cut that trade in half, maybe I would. If I could just bring in Tanner Scott. Jazz Chisholm, exciting player. I like the player, but do they need infield help enough to warrant giving up that prospect haul for this year? I love Tanner Scott. So I'm almost trying to modify your trade in my head as we go here. But it's an interesting thought. Kill two birds with one stone in one deal with the Marlins. But I like Scott a ton for this bullpen. They need a lefty arm. Ferguson struggled a little bit this year. But Jazz Chisholm, he would need to prove a lot in terms of durability for me.
I do like the idea of filling two vacancies by the Yankees in one trade. So I think this is worth exploring. I like Jazz Chisholm as a player. I like the sort of energy he brings. I know he's got a lot of swag to him. I know that rubs some of the high and mighty Yankee fans out there the wrong way because it's a class-only organization. We don't bat flip, all that kind of stuff. But Jazz has a little pizzazz that I think that they could actually use nowadays because they've sort of hit a wall this season, and maybe this would help push them over the top if they got a little bit going on. It was working with Alex Verdugo earlier this season. They seem to love his vibe, and you know, I don't see that vibe right now going on there, so maybe they could use a little bolstering.
Yeah, I agree. He brings energy that I think would be helpful. It might not be the ideal organization for him, given his personality, but I think he can help. I think he's versatile. He's got more potential, gets out of that big ballpark, gets to play more meaningful games. I think you could really see the best of Jazz.